Greetings and welcome to the setup video for CSD 2522 Java 2. Now, there's going to be a few setup differences compared to the Java 1 class that you theoretically just took, so make sure you watch the entire setup video. To start off with, you are going to want to make sure that you have a JDK installed. Remember, JRE is for running Java programs, JDK is for developing it. Again, links will be in Blackboard. You will need to make sure that you've got a reasonably recent version of Java. Now, how can you test this? If you open up a command prompt and you type in java-version, it will give you a report of all of the various versions that you have installed. I am currently running off of Java 24, and as of recording of this video, Java 25 is the latest long-term support version. It is okay to be up to 2 versions off of whatever the current LTS is. We are not using cutting-edge language features here that a 2 version difference is going to matter that much. However, if you are more than 2 versions different, I would strongly recommend that you install a LTS version that is up to date. By scrolling down, selecting your OS of question, and downloading the appropriate installer. As usual, if you need to update your JDK, after you have it installed, I would strongly recommend rebooting your machine just to be on the safe side. Once you are certain that you have a good JDK installed, we need to get an IDE, and this time we're moving away from Visual Studio Code. Again, Visual Studio Code is a fine enough IDE, but if you're doing heavy-duty Java development, it's probably not the one that you are going to be using. Eclipse is an IDE that is Java first. It is focused on doing Java development and other things. And so Eclipse is the IDE that we are going to be using for this course. If you go to eclipseide.org, again, link will be in Blackboard. You'll come to this page, click on the download button, which will take you to this page here, and then download the Eclipse installer, this first window right here. Now, this installer has several options that we need to pay attention to. So I actually uninstalled and I'm going to reinstall Eclipse on this machine. So after you have the installer downloaded, you're going to open it up to run it. What you are going to want is this first option up here, Eclipse IDE for Java developers. So this top option right here is the one you want. Select that. It'll bring you to this page. Now, it'll probably default to something different on this option right here. I would strongly recommend that you set it to whatever your JDK version you have installed on your local machine. If you want, you can also set it to download from 25 or 21, depending on when you're watching this video. But I would say choose the JDK that you have installed on your local machine. Install folder is going to default to the C drive. You are, of course, free to change this if you want. And then click on Install to turn loose the install process. Standard user agreement. Just click Accept Now. And off it will go getting things installed. And I'll cut back in when this is done. Once it's done installing, you'll have a launch button here to be able to launch it. You will also be able to hit the window key and type in EC, at least on Windows machines, and you should see the option to launch the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Go ahead and launch it. It is going to want to select a directory as a workspace. Again, feel free to change this if you want, but using the default is perfectly fine. And if you don't ever want it to ask you again, you can click on this checkbox right here. Now, it's not going to immediately launch into a workspace like this. Like I said, I already had this running and uninstalled it and reinstalled it to show the install process. But if you go to File, New, Java Project, give it a project name, tell it which execution environment to use. The default should be acceptable. And you will want to uncheck the create module info.java file. We'll talk about modules later on in the semester, but for the moment, uncheck this option, and then you will be able to click Finish. And then over here in your Package Explorer, you will see your project that you just created. And if you expand it out, you'll have a source directory. Inside this source directory, you can right-click New Class. Give it whatever name that you want. You can accept all of the defaults, although you will want to click on public static void main. So all the defaults and select this. And then to test, to make sure that it is working correctly, you can do a system.out.print or print line, whichever one you want to do, and do a hello world. And then you can hit on the green run button here, and you should get the hello world output down here. Again, there will be a video specifically on how to use Eclipse and what all the various sections are, but these are the steps you would take to verify that your Eclipse installation has completed successfully. Other aspects of the class that you need to make sure you have set up, you need a GitHub account. Just like last course, we will be using GitHub to pull down assignments and push your completed code up to the repositories. You do not have to have your Clark State account associated with your GitHub account. Just make sure that you have a classroom appropriate user ID, which is a good idea anyways, because including your GitHub account on your portfolio can be a good thing to do for when you go to do job applications. You will need some program to interact with the repository, unless you want to go command line, which I don't recommend. GitHub Desktop is recommended software. Again, you should already have this downloaded and configured from the previous semester. Before we get to the online textbook, a quick word about ad blockers. You should probably have one. The FBI put out a bulletin point 3-4 years ago, literally saying, install ad blockers for your data security. Ads can be an attack vector for malicious actors. So yes, it is a good idea to have an ad blocker. Ghostery is the recommended one. It has a long track record. It is trustworthy and does a very good job at blocking ads. Plus, it makes it easy to whitelist websites that you wish to support by viewing their ads. Our online textbook is W3 Schools. Obviously, continuing on with the Java section. You need a W3 account. You only need the free account. You do not need to purchase anything. We are not using any of the paid materials. Make sure when you are doing your reading assignments that you are signed in. Otherwise, it will not track the reading has been done. If you have successfully read through and completed a section, you will see these little green bars show up to the side, and this is what you will take screenshots of to turn in your reading assignments. Again, details will be on Blackboard. Okay, to recap, make sure that you have a current-ish version of Java installed. If you open up a command prompt and type in java-version, you can check your version number. As long as you are within 2 versions of whatever is on the main download page for the JDK, you are fine. And if you are not, make sure you download an OS appropriate installer for the JDK that you need. We are using the Eclipse IDE this semester, so make sure you download the most recent version. When you install it, you need the Java development option, and make sure you select the JDK that is already installed on your system. You need a GitHub account. Again, make sure that your ID is classroom appropriate. Good idea just for professional reasons as well. You will need software to interact with GitHub. GitHub Desktop is immensely recommended. An ad blocker is recommended as well. Our online textbook is W3 Schools, again, specifically the Java section, and make sure that you are signed in with your free account when you do your reading so it can be tracked. And that is it. We're going to dig into some pretty interesting topics this semester. So hopefully you'll have a lot of fun learning about Java, and that's it. Let's have a good semester.